Let's dive a little deeper here. Game 1 of the Pacers and Knicks series gets underway tomorrow, a rematch of last year's second round where Indiana prevailed in 7 games. But the history, it goes so much deeper than that. The last 3 times New York has made the conference finals prior to this season, they also faced the Pacers here. And just like the last Knicks, they took 2 of those last 3 series. New York took 2 of the last 3 matchups against Indiana this season. All of those games were decided by double figures. 3-point shooting was absolutely key. Let's take a listen to Tom Thibodeau earlier today.
The challenge is always the same, so it's no different whether it's a game or a series. It's to always reset. Each game is different. You have to prepare for that particular game. You're not carrying anything over from the previous series or the previous game. You just got to be right and ready when that ball goes up tomorrow night.
You thought all about the possible NBA Finals matchup that could be happening?
We got to get there first. I ain't gonna worry about something that we ain't there yet. So step by step, you start thinking into the future and ahead. You never take care of the present. So I'm only thinking about right now the series.
As you should be. You cannot afford to overlook an opponent like the Indiana Pacers. But in the ring, on the floor, wherever you may take, I will take Tyrese Haliburton versus Jalen Brunson any way I can get it. What aspect of this matchup are you watching most closely?
That one, yep. Exactly, those two. And there's a special place in my heart for point guards, right? Because they control everything. They have to stay aware of who has the hot hand, who hasn't gotten a touch in a while, and maybe needs to get involved in the offense. Do I push the pace here? Do I slow down the pace here? What defense are they running? There is so much going on in the mind of the point guard throughout the game. But with these 2 point guards specifically, and we talk about clutch time, that's what I'm most excited for. Yes, they're going to make a lot of decisions throughout, but those 2 game winners we just saw from Tyrese Haliburton were phenomenal. That game winner against Detroit from Jalen Brunson, and then also the and one that helped him also get the lead and take the win against Boston. The way that those 2 players control the pace throughout the game, find their teammates, set up their offense, understand the defense, but the way they play in clutch time and make plays and seal the game, I just want to know who's going to show up more for their team in this series as they go back and forth.
Certainly the backcourt battle is one thing that you mentioned as well that you're watching, Brian, in your Windy watch. Is there something else you have your eye on here?
OG Anunoby is such an important player. The reason that they gave him the full maxes last year was because he's so valuable to use against different opponents. In this series, I'm telling you, Andrew Nembhard and Aaron Nesmith, they get overlooked. Go talk to the Cavs. They gave the Cavs nightmares. So when you have Anunoby and you have Mikal Bridges, you have so much flexibility. And don't forget about Josh Hart. The Josh Hart on Pascal Siakam matchup is going to be extremely important. And Bridges is a type of player who they expect and get great defense out of him. When Bridges scores, they're virtually unbeatable. And so that's going to be on the Pacers too. The Pacers have to swing both ways and take care of how Bridges can be a swing offensive player, of how OG Anunoby can be a swing offensive player. I'm telling you, the spotlight will be on the point guards. The rubber's going to meet the road at the wings.
Well, and this is something the New York Knicks have been waiting a long time. Jalen Brunson, we saw him go down in that Game 7 against the Indiana Pacers last year. He wasn't able to complete the mission. Jalen Brunson, that's what makes him tick. Games like this, Game 1 like we're going to see tomorrow. And the farther you go into the calendar year, the more difficult sometimes it can be to find some anniversaries for the New York Knicks. But the conference finals are here, and we are live in Oklahoma City ahead of Game 1. One of the best stories of this series is the relationship between the cousins, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who will play each other in the playoffs for the first time. SGA's father, Vaughn, and Alexander Walker's mother, Nicole, they're siblings. They were born only 52 days apart. Here's Nickeil this morning on the upcoming Family Feud.
After, I think it was Sunday, my mom had called me and she told me, she texted his dad saying, oh, it's war now and stuff like that. So, it's all love at the end of the day, but just, it's really cool. It's a real cool feeling, and especially like if I go on my phone, it's the only thing I see, like especially from friends and family back home. So I think 10 years from now, 20 years from now, I'll be able to really appreciate the moment and for what it was, and to know what we were able to accomplish. In this time, the only thing I care about is making sure that the Wolves get 4 wins.
I couldn't imagine playing against a family member, but where's my single? Oh, it's over here. Yeah, Kendra. If it was you and me, mano y mano, one-on-one, sister going down. But in all seriousness, if that were to be the case, I don't know what I would do other than win.
I'm just
but
like,
Brian,
you can't tell that family anything.
No.
You cannot tell that family anything for at least a year.
You cannot tell that family anything. I love when Shanae and her sister talking about going at it. But Brian, when you're looking at the biggest advantage that one of these teams had in the series, and the Cousins series is certainly one of those things, who are you giving it to?
The game 7 of the conference semifinals was just less than 2 days ago. So the fact that the Thunder didn't have to travel, get to play at home in front of this crowd, home court is extremely important. Obviously, game 7, yes, but games 1 and 2 also matter, getting to start at home.
How will you know rest versus rust? Who's going to get the edge in that? Because it could go both ways.
I think you'll see it in the second half. But the Thunder are deep. However, they shorten their rotation in the back half of that series.
Yeah, I mean, but this is where the advantage comes in for me for Minnesota, because when you look at Minnesota, 5 days of rest. They closed out that Golden State series early versus the Thunder, which you just said, only 1 day of rest. So yes, Minnesota had to travel, but they've been resting, they've been relaxing, and they've been game planning, and that's huge.
So Andrea, I'm gonna ask you this. I have to do mine later for NBA Countdown. Not just in game 1, but in this series. Who are you giving the edge to?
I'm just so torn. Because you talk about the home, you talk about the rest. We also talk about Minnesota having the experience from last season. But then I also give Oklahoma City an edge because they've been the best team in the league this entire season. They've had a historic record-breaking season in terms of double-figure wins, total wins, point differential. For me, wait, are you actually going to make your pick on NBA Countdown?
Yeah.
You promise?
I promise. You promise.
Okay, all right. Okay, we'll see. Lock it in. Lock it in.
I would just say
We have 30 seconds. Are you going to make
Oklahoma
a pick?
City's,
See what I'm doing here?
Oklahoma City's fastball is better than anybody's, but how will their fastball be? That's what I'd say.
If I had to make a pick, which
Yep.
I guess you're making me, this is very hard. This is not an easy pick.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Minnesota Timberwolves in 6.
Minnesota Timberwolves in
Hot
6.
take.
Ooh, she's coming in hot, kind of
see.
like these shirts.
Yep.
I've never seen quite the uniform crowd like you do in Oklahoma City. You will see it tonight. We'll see you tomorrow.
They're not